What's up, everybody? I'm Yogi Chris, captain of IMC Nation, here at IMC Las Vegas Eden House, the main base where IMC activities take place. We got the studio here. Just got off meeting with AZD himself, went out with him last night. Incredible. You have to be at the class because when it's just one guy saying it, you're like, well, he's just, selling a used vacuum cleaner or something. When you hear two or three or more people talking about, if you saw a meteor or you saw a car accident or you saw a movie, three or more people you're talking about it, you're not going to tell the story the same way. One of you, it may not impact very well. One of you, it may very much impact. Like you see a movie that changed your life, or you saw a UFO or something. Then it may be like a UFO type thing where it's like there's 10 of you and one of you saw it, or two of you saw it. If two of you saw it, then the other eight have to be like, how did two of you see it? What did we miss? If only one of you saw it, it's like, you just saw something. If 5 out of 10 of you saw it, it would be like, dang, what was that? I can't wait for another one. Oh, Steinman Bevel on. And other Zoom user would be great. If I knew who you were, I'd talk better to you. Because the people on Zoom, I talk more to because you're here. You can change your name, put on your camera, whatever if you're shy. Also, if you're a girl, you should probably leave. If you're a girl, you either belong to me or you're someone else's girl, and then you shouldn't be there. And that'll come and haunt you. We believe in karma. We know karma. It's not even belief. It will boomerang back on you. Okay. Okay. So just came from that meeting. I'm here, IMC Eden, and it's a Black Friday, right? You may not celebrate that kind of stuff, and we don't really celebrate it, but it's still the waves of economy and whatever. So of course we're gonna offer like some Black Friday half off discount or something like that. So I was gonna talk about the main most popular things, over 150 advanced trainings. I've categorized them, put them into curriculums. Many of the trainings didn't even make the cut. Not that they weren't stellar, because AZD is literally world class. By my account, best in the world, and has been the best in the world for a long time. And so the content he produces, he's just very innovative and prolific. He keeps creating. And so they're all world class for what they were at the time they were, etc. He has outdone himself on some things, so some things just get outdated in that sense. So like the best 25 or 30 of these curriculums are pieces of content or camps or trainings or whatever. They're on the website. And of them, I was working with that for about 6 months. Talked to hundreds of guys bought stuff and coaching with them before and afterwards and seeing the effect. And some guys all the way up to messengers start with some sort of content. And so because it's a privilege, I get to really see how the content that affected me subjectively improved my condition, how it plays out with other consciousnesses, other guys that come from their own context and background and education and intelligence aware, like blah, 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 age, everything, like ethnicity, so much like goes into it. And so I get a really uh clearer, better picture of, what's going on in the world. Because when you probably want to influence the world somehow, even if it's just to sell something, to make some money, or to create a movement, or to let your legacy be known, to get the woman you want. You got to influence your environment. Like, do you just snipe her? You're a sniper. You get her out of like an environment, or do you have to like win over the environment? Don't you think other people are like trying to align themselves with her? So when you get her, you're probably going to confront a lot of her relationships and interactions and things. You're going to have to handle the environment. You need influence. And why was I going into that? Curriculum, best pieces, getting a clear picture for what's out there, just increases your awareness and your ability to influence. Not IMC guys, just everything. Guys are half the equation, and they're really the whole equation, but they're the whole equation until you're safe, and then they're half the equation. So once survival and the enemy's war camps are at bay, then you need women for sure. When you're at war, you don't need women. You take the enemy's women. But uh, when it's peacetime, well, you definitely need women because what's going to happen? You're going to grow old. No one's going to take care of you. You're going to die, and that's when the other war camp is going to come in. So you better have a younger generation, you know. And that's what it is: survival and replication. First, you got to survive. Don't worry about replicating if you can't survive. But once you survive, then I mean, all the eating and consuming and cars and travels and money and job and everything, all of it is for replication. like you're trying to get the mate of your dreams or the mates of your dreams, and it's not what you think it is, but it is that. It is the mate of your dreams, but it's not that you're sitting and dreaming of exactly what you want it to look like. You might be, but that's not what I mean. Don't you feel or sense? Because feel is one of those words that, like, is it an emotion? Is it like a, what do you mean feel? Not feel. Like, don't you have a perception or a sense or a sensation or a feeling, whatever word, don't you sense like greatness for yourself? Something greater, bigger, better? Are you just in it for like little incremental improvements, little distracting, entertaining, educational, uh, you know, time investment? Like, what do you show up to streams? What do you watch AZD content for? Like, you're inspired, probably. Like, you can achieve it for you. I would be very interested. I don't know if Zoom user, but Diamond, what do you see for yourself? This is great. Tony's on now too. I got 30 minutes. Let's see if anybody wants to participate on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. You can too. But definitely, if you're here on Zoom, like, what do you, when you see AZD content and you're here, you show up to my stream, you show up to his streams, you obviously are consuming the TikTok or Instagram content or something, newsletter, like you're here. And the people that watch this recording, obviously, if you're taking the time to get 10 minutes deep on my recording, you're obviously here for some IMC tech. Very, very few, if any, up to this point, have any obsession with me. That's not what it is. You're here for AZD tech through me. And yeah, I'm a messenger in my own right. But I mean, clearly, it's the AZD tech. So obviously, you admire it, etc., whatever, fascinated by it, etc. But what do you see for yourself using it for? For you, what are you going to do with it? What do you want to do with it? What have you seen? Even the most flighty images, if it makes sense and it's not like purple candy canes upside down on Jupiter, like if it's, you know what I'm saying? Like within reality, you didn't sprout wings and fly, but maybe you bought a skyscraper. That's reality. You could make enough money to buy a skyscraper. You can't sprout wings and fly. You get it? So, what do you see for yourself with this stuff? If you want to share anything, and I'll share mine. And if you got nothing, I'll give it like 10 seconds because, I'm springing the question on you, but I'm talking a little extra so you get a chance to collect some thoughts. You can go back and forth. You don't have to go monologue. You just say one or two ideas, and maybe the next person wants to piggyback on it. It's no big deal either. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, unmute.
I see a smoother life. I'm just driving home at the moment. I'm just looking and observing, taking in what's happening, and I see with the AZD tech how if the life, say like the roundabouts might be people that I interact with and come about with, I want to be able to navigate through that smoothly.
Right on. Right on. Can I ask you a question about that? I didn't hear you. I don't know if you heard me. Can I ask you a question about that?
Sure.
I was choppy. Check, check.
Can
Do
you
you hear
hear me?
me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah, sure.
And you might have continued on and maybe got cut off. So what I heard was you want to navigate smoothly, and so what would be different about it that you would know it's smooth, or that you're navigating smoothly? Like, how would you know it? It could be a feeling. It could be something you're perceiving. Something. I don't know.
There'd be more freedom in communication and being able to is that express and influence in a way that isn't taken as something that's like, or isn't taken in a way that would offend someone.
Wow, this is really interesting. AZD sent a hypnotherapy thing, gateway session, 80 minutes, 60 minutes, 120 minutes. New session, mix. of elevation or immersion. Wow, that's fascinating. Okay, I'll have to get to that in a second. And we're back, guys. I had to oh, I pressed a button. I had to check a message from AZD. Diamond, would you repeat that one more time, please?
It'll be through the communication in a way that would land the way that I intended to land.
You'd communicate in a way that what?
That would land in the way that I intended to.
Land in the way that you intended to. And so that would be like some sort of influence, right? People would like
Yeah,
react the way you want. They'd
sure.
like what
Yeah,
you want. They dislike what you want them to dislike. They'd laugh when you want them to laugh, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah,
Or just maybe not so directly affect. Like they would just be positive about what you. You don't necessarily know how they're going to react, but
yeah,
I see. Yeah, better communication. Maybe when they react unpredictably, you navigate smoothly back on course. Or, I'll tell you. Maybe you didn't think of this. Maybe not always does it go the way you want. There's all kinds of variables, and you may not even have a wanting. You're just surfing the Tao of the moment. But obviously, you're spreading goodness, and some people may react not right to it because of how they perceive you or because they're evil. Who knows? It's something else, even. And so the ability to let it go, to handle any situation, to redirect it back to the right way, or to, cut it off because you have integrity that you're not compromising, but you're wise on your integrity. So you're not so egotistical about your integrity because you just now discovered integrity. So you're not compromised because you have integrity. That's like a first level, I guess, of really primitive, archaic integrity. And more refined is very contextual. Every context and the give and take and a sense of violence or nonviolence and what's at stake, survival, replicate, like everything that's going on. And a lot of times AZD will allow a violation of himself because it's really the leverage that goes against the person and really the power that boomerangs back to him by allowing the little minor violation so that a demonstration could be made of how violating the violation was, which in the end shows how wise and patient he really is about the situation. And it's like, so then the value, and it's like, whoa, dude, there's levels and levels and levels, and it just keeps going. But when you have mastery of being smooth in communication and smoothly navigating communication, what would you want physically in the 3D reality that would be different than what you have now? Or would it be anything? Is it only a subjective experience, or is there anything on the 3D outside that other people would see that would be different if you navigated smoothly social interactions?
more income, more confidence.
Come again?
More income and more confidence be the first two things I see.
Okay, more income and more competent. Okay, so you'd make more money and then more
Yeah,
competent in like how describe that? What does that mean? I kind of know what the
confident.
word means, but you see it in a certain way for yourself.
Yeah, more confident and certain, not competent. Well,
Oh, you saying confident with the letter F
yeah,
like Frank?
yeah.
I see. So more confident, more income. And how would you know that you were more confident?
I would feel more certain.
I see. You'd be more certain. And how would you know that you're more certain?
Decisiveness.
Excitedness. So you'd be excited?
Decisive.
Decisive. I see. So in
Yeah,
3D reality, you would appear to be decisive,
more decisive. Yeah,
more decisive. Well, okay, definitely more decisive would mean more certain. And certainty is a part of confidence, for sure. Right on. And that all comes from a state of mind.
yeah.
And I wonder if the income also comes from a state of mind.
It would do.
Let's see. TikToker invites you to co-host. I don't know, dude. I haven't really talked with you before, but yeah, maybe next time. Cool. Right on. Well, I think clear on that. I mean, decisive, a state of mind. When I saw that what I was learning from AZD and it was a state of mind, and I linked, I've said it before, but I haven't said it this way. I linked state of mind. I said it a little bit last night. It was really interesting. I said it exactly what AZD said in lecture today to Shamir last night. And he was asking me something about like everything I do is about the bottom line. Because you haven't lived here, Diamond. Tony barely lives here. And Zoom user, I still don't know who you are. You're probably some chick. That I am always on business mode, except when I do a little bit of yoga or I hang out with a girl a little bit. And even then, and even when I'm doing my yoga, I'll like take a pause to take a note or something. Like, it's just what it is. But that, so Shamir's like, do you ever like scroll on Instagram or watch videos or things that, don't contribute to your bottom line, basically? He's like, because your bottom line, it's very clear that's your bottom line. I'm like, bottom line is not the dollars. You're saying bottom line as if I'm all about business. And I just said I'm all about business, but here's my business. My business is my state of mind because we don't live in the jungle per se, like the primitive is trees and, grass and dirt hut jungle. We live in the current jungle, the concrete jungle, the techno jungle, whatever. But and that's what I'm saying. Like I'm a predator in that. But that doesn't depend on my muscles. Like my muscles, my workout, my fighting, my training, everything I do with my body affects my state of mind. But I'm optimizing my state of mind for what I do. I'm a messenger, a carrier of a philosophy and a lifestyle that's freed me of thinking and given me cause, given me a handhold or a sense of control over my own evolution based on real information that is not the data, but it's a real perspective that's from reality, like the reality of the human mating code, the reality of law of attraction, state of mind, vibration of thoughts and words and deeds and emotions, and how we communicate into the world reverberates back and forth and boomerangs, and that's kind of like karma. And then all of that culminates in the life that we make for ourselves. And it all boils down to the state of mind that we emanated it from, which we got from our parents and wherever from back when, but now we got to take control. And so, how do you do it? Well, you got to master your mind and evolve and recreate your world. And it takes time for it to overhaul. So, you got to be patient, persistent, and hella dedicated, which is like you're saying, when I saw that and I was already trained to be dedicated in multiple things, I had been trained to be a dedicated student of things. That's what the training was. In the pursuit of greatness, I got my ass kicked a lot in wrestling, but I pursued it, because I wanted to be great. And, you know, it just became a training in how to be persistent with a big goal in mind and target. And you continued on to other things too, just translated other ways, also Boy Scout, whatever. Like whatever I did to the level that I did it to, and the training I got to be that way. So when I saw AZD and attitude, and I learned the basic teachings of man, it's all gonna just come. If it's gonna be up to me. And so when it came to like getting money together or buying a product or a program or something, it was just like I gotta get there, I gotta get it, and I gotta use that attitude to make my life better, to make my world better, make my money better. You know, which gives you certainty. Like the basic certainty is it's your survival value. So it's your survival value. That's why if you have a wife or if you have a kid or whatever, they do better if you do better. And it's not do better with money because it's state of mind. Sure, you got to provide if you're going to stick around like that, but that's the beauty of modern socialist countries. They're not going to starve. They just won't starve. They may have it a little less comfortable, but they're sapping that comfort from you. And you're giving it. It's not that you should be living comfortably, it's that you're taking away from your survival. Now, if the woman is really righteous, you go for your survival and she'll follow and she'll bring the kid along and she'll do her job, which is to take care of the kid. And it's really hard as a man, and I don't know Zoom user, but Tony, Diamond, I mean, what do we know of each other besides communication? What do we know of anybody? What do I know of my girl? What do I know of anybody besides our communication, which includes like when we're around each other and we're out, we fist bump. That's a communication. Like it's all communication. We only know what we've communicated to each other, how we looked, how we smelled, how we groomed ourselves, how we responded to shit. And then, of course, like what we say and converse and, et cetera, et cetera. So how can we really ever know the other person? We only know what they've communicated that we've perceived, let alone if we perceived it correctly or whatever. So it's like it goes through these filters. We don't know the other person. But based on what I know of you guys, which is communication, and I communicate deeply and at a high level, I'm pushing guys at a high level. I train with AZD, and he's super high level influence, understanding the mind to claim the mind of first his own and then the women. And it's like you ultimately retain control. You can always give up, but the river flows where there's least resistance, and it wants to go downhill a certain way. Your river, the river of your life energy, wants to go towards survival. You want to survive better. If you see a route, that's why people go for get rich quick schemes, because it flows that way so easily. It's like survival is at the other end of that, and I want to quickly go there. But that's how, you know, having a diet of candy versus a diet of wholesome food, you know, you learn to go for the candy, but then there's a dead end at that you know you lost value actually when you went for the short term. I mean, sometimes everything can be used in the right context, but uh okay, so what am I saying? Linking attitude, making money, whatever. Whatever. So I was going to show up and talk about the Black Friday sale, whatever. You guys should get together and get it. Anybody watches this on YouTube, I don't know everybody's financial condition, but that's what it is. Basically, everything on IMC base one half off for until we'll go until the end of Sunday Pacific time. So that's the Black Friday weekend, and that includes residency. That includes all of the packages that, you know, the biggest discounts happen when you buy multiple things. So I've organized these curriculums that are really related to each other. They stack on each other. They, you know, take you deeper into that education, like the chosen pillar or the game where it talks about like just and teaches and demonstrates how to interact with women. It's exactly women. Like only 1/6 of what he teaches is like directly interactions with women. And yet it all relates to that because it's the most compromising aspect of your life, your relationship and the life you build with your relationship or relationships like that. If and when those relationships break or she cheats on you or pregnancy or whatever, it's going to be so life changing to everything you have ever built and will ever build that's how important it is. It affects everything. So that's game. That's how to interact with him. But the whole thing of what AZD teaches is the mentalities and lifestyle and skills and everything of communication, of self awareness, of discernment, emotional intelligence, you could call it. He doesn't use like weak words like that, but that's essentially what he's teaching because that's what he's masterful of. That's what you have to be masterful of. The evidence is in the seven girlfriends, super fine, all know about each other, blah, blah, blah. You know the whole spiel. Been with him long time, a lot of years. So, and transparently, you know, even on public and social media, many other girlfriends, etc. So it's just, it's a real thing. And I've gone out with him so many times and I lived with him for years and it's real. It's really real. To master relationships with very desirable and sought after women in a culture that suppresses that in a dominant way, and then you multiple women in culture further suppresses that, etc. Plus, all the it's not like the girls are seeking a man that has six other girlfriends. So it's like, what value do you have to the woman? And then you go and try to replicate it. You can hate on it all day. You'd be like, oh, this is a Cuban chick or something, but you go try seriously. Like it's so easy to do it. Oh, you don't want it? Well, you just sound like a hater. You're like, that's not valid. I don't even want it. Doesn't that sound like a pouty kid? Like, so go and do it or, you know, look deeper into it because the reality of the social dynamic, maybe it's not your flavor. I'm not saying it's your favorite kind of girl, but dude, recognize value. Like, just because football is not your favorite sport, can't you recognize an athlete? Even if fucking golf isn't your sport, can't you recognize something great? Like, if it's a fine woman, even NASCAR, some shit. It doesn't even fucking Rubik's cube solving. Like, can't you recognize something stellar? Like when somebody's really stand out, can't you recognize a really beautiful woman, even if she's goth or something? You're not into that. Even if she's like a bald black chick, you know how they do that. But if she's fine, can't you recognize that's obviously not your flavor? But can't you recognize like you know maybe like the pit bull isn't your favorite dog, but can't you recognize like a gorgeous pit bull that's all like muscular or whatever? If you can't discern great from just good or average, then yeah, game's not for you. I mean, or you're brainwashed to say that, but you really don't think that. And that's a huge disconnect. How are you ever going to relate with a woman if you can't even say what you believe? Like she's like that already. I'm telling you, that's the thing about personal development. You get better at it, and then you expect her to be that. And she's like, and it's like, bro, she didn't go through all the training you did. Look at what you had to go through, bro. What the fuck are you trying to say? I don't know, dude. Come live stream with me, ask me about it, because you missed the whole background of everything I was saying. That's the thing about streaming. Somebody joins in the middle of it, and it's like if they missed the last 30 seconds, are you really talking about the thing that you were just talking about? Do you have to reintroduce the subject like an infomercial? Every 90 seconds, you have to reintroduce the pitch because people just joined and they didn't know what you were pitching. Like, you follow this account, I assume? Then you know about AZD, the tattoos, and the kind of content he spreads. I'm a messenger. I built this account and a bunch of other accounts for that. I lived with him for years. I mean, here in Vegas. I'm talking about the shit we're talking about. People here on Zoom, etc., other places. So if you want to stream and you want to dialogue about the content, about game, game really, or aliens, that would be fun. Aliens or anything cosmic. That's the streaming job. I don't know what that means, but yeah, if you want to stream, just request it. Okay. Anybody else? Tony, what would you use the content for? Obviously, admire it, the tech, etc. Like, we want to create or change about yourself or life or your life or whatever. Like, it's a tech of
Yeah,
transformation.
I I would use it for overcoming my limiting beliefs and self-sabotage.
And what would be different about
So,
your life after you overcame your limiting
so
beliefs and
well,
self-sabotage?
hopefully, long story short, for example, when I first got introduced to AZD, IMC Nation, it was his website, maybe like around 2012, 2013.
A long time ago.
And yeah, I'm getting chills right now. Long time ago, I was following the RSD guys, and I
Yeah.
was pretty much like any pickup artist I I would learn from. I would check them out, and then I see AZD's website, because I was dabbling in it for a few years. Fast forward 2015, and I
Yeah.
see him, like I hear some pickup artists talking shit about him, like, oh, he's got a gym, and he hires these models
You
to
guys are fun.
pose with him, and I look with him and his girlfriends, and I'm like, I know this guy's doing this. Something about him, like the way he teaches in his free YouTube videos. I know he's doing this, and those guys are haters. And then when I was about to invest in something good for me, my self sabotage mode kicked in. It's like, this isn't right. Let's blow down some dumb shit that's only going to take from you.
I
And
see.
I knew what he was doing was
So like
was
doubts and
real.
skepticism.
Yeah. Oh, so small town, cow town, small town boy living in Wisconsin, and then I see someone living a life that I want to live, and then I knew what I was going to have to give up, that negative mindset, self sabotage, and what I was going to have to go through, the beasting process, for example. And I'm like, no, this is too uncomfortable. I'm going to do what's comfortable and live the rest of my life thinking, what if, So to answer your question, it helps me overcome my limiting beliefs and prevent me from doing self sabotage.
Yeah. Right on. And then what would be different about your life if you overcame your
Oh
limiting
my
beliefs and prevented
god!
sabotage?
Oh man, I still think about last February when I went out with you guys for that week, man. And it's like I'm still working on it. It's been a while. I'm here. For example, it's like I don't need alcohol or something else to like
Yeah, that's a big
help me
change.
overcome. Yeah, that. So it's like seeing, you and AZD prepare for your class or going out, getting yourself in the right
Yeah.
mindset. I'll sit
Yeah, it's a
right
mindset.
here on this couch. I'll meditate, do some deep breathing. I'll do my quantum leap. I'll listen to that, and I'll listen to some upbeat music. Shower, end it with a cold shower, get myself, and then I go out and do the women. You know this. The women out here are the most beautiful women you'll see in the world, and some of them, you know, not most of them like the clubs you guys go to, but the little clubs I go to, walking distance from where I live. Some of them are
Yeah.
coming here, and I'm exchanging Instagrams,
Yeah.
having conversations with them, and just being able to like have the confidence and know it's just like, and the people, some people I meet and connect with here, I'm just like, even like club owners, promoters, it's like they see something special in me where they know they can talk to me like a normal person. Not, well, not like these normals, but like a enhanced person that's gonna like not just take from them, but give as well. That's what it does for me.
Yeah, right on. So that's cool. Sounds like you would network a lot more and more effectively if you were. Is that what you're saying? Like that, because I was asking what would be different if you didn't self-sabotage, you overcame your limiting beliefs. What would be different about your life? And
Well, I'd be going out with you guys. I'd be going out with you
oh,
guys
for
and like
sure,
getting multiple
for sure.
girlfriends, like
Okay,
living my life finally.
multiple girlfriends, living your life. What would living your life? What would be different when you say living your life?
Well, I've been going out with you guys. It's like I've actually been drinking. I drank a few times, not as bad as I used to, but I kind of reminded myself, it's like this is why I stopped drinking in excess because I get in the dirt mode.
Yeah,
And then it's like having a good place and location where I can bring women and then not feel like awkward of like my, former roommates I used to live with. It would just be awkward,
sure, sure,
and then I stay
sure.
with you guys for a week and you're like, hey, I got a bird coming over, and then everyone's respectful of each other's space.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't have to worry about my roommate trying to get with my
True.
girl, which actually happened in the past.
I'll tell you
And
something
then,
that I'll tell you something. I should. I
yeah,
need to. You got to hear this. Um, I hear what you're saying, and that's truly the power of residency here. One of the powers is the freedom and the space as a man to be, and it's way beyond just like having a chick over because there's just an orderliness and a respect and just a discipline and a willingness to communicate, but from strength. It's like it sounds all gay to be like a willingness to communicate. It's fucking strong, and that's all very freeing. It's like the lid gets blown off and the space, and you can finally breathe, et cetera, et cetera. And what I want to say is, what should be said, um, like in soccer or baseball or any throwing sport, I'm sure, there's something like called a follow through. You don't swing for the ball, you got to swing through the ball uh, or kick through the ball. Don't just kick at the ball. And you have a target, and then there's this swing and a hit and a follow through, or just the idea of a follow through, even with a punch or something like that. Not too much where you lose your balance, unless you really have it's your last going for broke or whatever. But there's a follow through. You extend through the target, and so the target living in a house, a base, IMC base, living the player's lifestyle for sure, for sure, for sure. Swing through that. Once that's achieved, or once you're guaranteed on that path, let's say you're in a base and you're practicing game all the time, you make enough money to like do that. Now what? Okay, get better, get better, get better, get better. And then what? Like, so what vision you have is going to be what you're following through with. And it's more of your survival value anyway, your real value to life instead of just taking an experience or working some dead end job to pay for the experience, but actually interacting and participating with because you're creating a real authentic, genuine, sincere, unique value that's you, that only because only you would want to do it. Nobody else wants to do your shit, just like you don't want to do other people's shit. So what you want to be about, do about, contribute to the world, that you see, which just starts with whatever. You don't have to go to it's not going to be the final developed picture because you can't skip to the end like that. We talk about law of attraction, but the truth is you skip to the end, you see the vision. On your way to that vision, the end picture ends up changing anyway. It modifies and changes, adapts as you gain more information and the reality of what it may look like, or it may get better, it may get whatever. Like, so you just have an end picture in mind that you're following through with. Just to start with, you just pick something. You want to be a networking agent for fucking shows in Vegas or something. Who knows? Or you want to be a private door to door fucking solar salesman. Who know? You can be whatever it is, and but that's your follow through. The lifestyle gets piggybacked on that. It gets on the conveyor belt of that. Instead of the lifestyle being the target, then because we never really hit our target, because this once you go for the target, as you get closer, you push it further away because that's just what it is. You push the target further away because you keep going for the target. So you fall in love with the chase. That's where I'm like, I was trained to be dedicated to something. You have to love being dedicated to something, not necessarily achieving it. You achieve things on the way, but every national champion wanted to be a world champion. Every world champion wanted to be legendary. Every legend wanted to be more legendary. Like everybody had a target, and when they stopped having a goal, they retired. Like so, or the goal wasn't important enough, or they didn't believe in themselves or something. But that's a disconnect. So it's got to be a goal that's attainable but inspiring. Understanding it's not the final draft; it's just the next draft. So you go for it, and that's your follow through. Because we never actually hit the target in this analogy anyway. I may have a goal of make $1,000 this week and I can hit the target. That's not what I mean. Like a goal of manifesting a lifestyle free of having to cater to the yoga industry, but still being able to teach yoga. Okay, I achieved that. But once I had achieved that, what happened is I recognized one day I was sitting in that condition, teaching yoga workshop, totally free of any yoga studio or outside employer, people that I had recruited. But the thing was that I was working towards a different goal. So I recognized I was sitting in the achievement of a previous goal, and it was all one goal. It's just the goal kept getting pushed back and more developed as I got closer to it because it's like that's what it is. So I hit a benchmark, which was at one time the peak of my goals, but that goal had been pushed back, so then the peak was much further along. But I hit a prior peak, like I hit my goal. So you hit your target, but never in the time that you're envisioning it. You hit it later, and at a later time, the target is further. Okay, I just beat a dead horse. So, uh, knowing that you never really hit the target, it's kind of like they say, shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you end amongst the stars or something. Like you go for the target, you're going to land short usually. So if the target is get into an IMC base, we land short. But if the target is create the life of your dreams and have a vision of that, I own 50 UPS stores or something. Life of your dreams. Like I don't know. I'm a successful real estate. I'm a dating coach. You can be whatever. I own a cleaning company. Like whatever your fucking goal is. I make money making music on the side, like just on Spotify. Like whatever you want to. That's your thing you're going for. So you may hit it, which means you really pushed your goals further on because you hit it, or you don't hit it, but you're going for it because you're a man with purpose. Along the way, you get into an IMC base. So the goal is not the IMC base. The goal is this other thing. What do you want to achieve when you get into the lifestyle and you have multiple women? Then what? You want to be a dating coach? Fine. Then that's your target. Be a dating coach. Obviously, being in an IMC base is along the way. The goal is not the IMC base. The goal is dating coach or whatever. So I need to end the stream, move on to the next thing. I really thought I would talk about more curriculums and shit and this and that. I mean, the most popular things on the website, as usual. I mean, what I would recommend is definitely Residency because that's the biggest discount on a half off thing for Black Friday until Sunday evening, I said. So normally that's 7,500 for 2 weeks, 5,000 for $5,000 for a week, 2,500 for 3 days. So half off of that. So you get 1,250 for 3 days, whatever. It's great discount. You get camps with that. If you can't make a Residency or you can't come up with a big chunk like that, then everything else is half off on the website, including all the curriculum. So if the curriculum is like 10 products and it's $2,000, it'd be $1,000 for all those products. Or any individual product, which I recommend the top products, Invisible Love, that's on the game page, Chosen One, that's on the Chosen page, and Keys to the Matrix, really, that's on the communications page. Those are like the greatest of all of those that I think, would be super impactful, big gift for yourself. And, are there any questions on that or any of those or anything at all that I covered? Then I'm going to end it. Right on. Go to imcbase1.com. Everybody on YouTube, etc. You watch this on Podomatic or whatever afterwards. imcbase1.com. Join the newsletter, see all the content. Hopefully you catch it before Black Friday ends because that's a huge discount, half off. Everybody, be the best.